It's 2 in the morning. The world is silent, but your mind is racing. You've tried every sleep hack, every supplement, and every breathing technique, but you're still wide awake. You call it insomnia. You think your body is failing you. But what if I told you that for 99.9% of human history, this exact moment wasn't a medical disorder? What if this wakefulness is actually a black hole where the most important parts of being human used to happen? Tonight, when the sun goes down, most of us will just flip a switch and flood our rooms with light without a second thought. But for over 300,000 years, every single one of your ancestors spent roughly half their life in near total darkness. They didn't have candles. They just had the stars, the fire, and a rhythm of life that modern society has completely erased. In this video, we are going to dive deep into the lost history of the watch, the biological secret of second sleep, and why your brain sometimes has to destroy your past memories just to build the person you are today. This isn't just about sleep, it's about the hidden architecture of the human mind. To understand why you're awake right now, we have to go back to the original human technology, fire. The earliest evidence of humans controlling fire dates back roughly 1 million years to the Wonderwork cave in South Africa. Before fire, our ancestors were like any other primate. When the sun went down, you found a tree and you stayed still. Moving at night meant becoming food. Our eyes are terrible in the dark compared to predators like leopards, hyenas, and wolves. Fire changed that equation overnight, literally. A campfire creates a circle of safety roughly 30 feet in diameter. Inside that circle, you live. Outside that circle, you die. This isn't an exaggeration. Even today, anthropologists note that hunter-gatherers who wander from the fire are significantly more likely to be killed by predators. But fire did something even more profound than protection. It added 2 to 4 usable hours to every single day, and those extra hours changed our species. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied the Juhon Bushmen of the Kalahari, who still live close to the original human lifestyle. She found something striking. During the day, 80% of human conversation is practical. It's work talk about hunting, plants, and logistics. But at night, around the fire, everything flips. 81% of conversations become stories. Tales of distant places, myths about the world's origin, and jokes. This is where human culture was born. The campfire was the original theater, the original classroom, and the original church. It's where we learn to imagine things that don't exist yet. So, if we were sitting around the fire telling stories, how did we actually sleep? If you think our ancestors slept for 8 hours straight, you've been misled by the industrial age. In 2001, historian Roger Eckerch published a paper that shocked the world. He spent 16 years digging through historical records, prayer books from the 1400s, court records, medical texts, and even Homer's Odyssey. He found over 500 references to something we've completely forgotten: first sleep and second sleep. Before the 1800s, people did not sleep in one block. They went to bed shortly after sunset, slept for about 4 hours, and then they woke up. They stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night, a period they called the watch. Then they went back to sleep for another 4 hours until dawn. What did they do during the watch? Everything. They visited neighbors, interpreted their dreams, or simply lay in bed and thought. A 16th century physician even recommended this window for conceiving children, claiming it was the best time. Most importantly, a doctor's manual from the 1500s advised that the best time to study and reflect was during this quiet hour when the mind was calm and the world was still. Historians had been reading these references for centuries, but they kept mistranslating first sleep because they couldn't imagine people ever slept differently than we do now. They literally mistranslated ancient Greek and Latin to make it fit our modern 8-hour obsession. You might be thinking, this is just history. I live in the 21st century, but your biology hasn't changed. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware ran a famous experiment. He took volunteers and removed all artificial light from their lives for a month. They had 14 hours of darkness every night. Within weeks, every single participant, without being told, settled into the exact same pattern. 4 hours of sleep, 2 hours of quiet wakefulness, and 4 more hours of sleep. It was as if an ancient program, buried under centuries of light bulbs, had been waiting to be reactivated. But here is the most incredible part. During that middle-of-the-night wakefulness, Ware measured their hormone levels. He found they were in a state unlike any normal waking state. Their brains were producing high levels of prolactin. Prolactin is the same hormone released during meditation and after an orgasm. It creates a state that is peaceful, reflective, and deeply meditative. Most modern humans have never experienced this distinct state of consciousness because we've killed it with light. In the 1600s, Paris and London began installing street lamps to reduce crime. Then came gas lamps. And finally, in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric light bulb. Within one generation, the night we had known for 300,000 years was gone. Today, blue light from your screens suppresses your melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's night. Your brain sees the light at 11 p.m. and thinks it's daytime. It fragments your sleep and destroys that quiet, reflective watch. This leads us to a deeper question. Why is reflection and storytelling so important for our identity? Why does the brain need these quiet hours? To understand this, we have to look at why you can't remember being a baby. You lived an entire life before age 3. You learned to walk, talk, and taste food, but you remember none of it. Sigmund Freud called this infantile amnesia. For a long time, we thought the infant brain was just too weak to store memories. But experiments show that even 2-month-olds can form memories for a few days. So why do they disappear? In 2014, neuroscientists discovered something shocking. The very process that builds your brain is what destroys your memories. In your early years, your hippocampus is producing new neurons at an explosive rate, a process called neurogenesis. Every time a new neuron integrates into a circuit, it disrupts the old connections, the connections that held your memories. Your baby brain wasn't too weak, it was too busy growing. It kept building new rooms and tearing down the old walls in the process. But there's another layer. To have autobiographical memory, the story of your life, you need a sense of self. Infants don't pass the mirror test until about 18 months. Before that, they don't recognize the person in the mirror as them, and you need language. Language doesn't just describe memories, it structures them. Language gives memory a skeleton. Without words to organize your experiences, they are like water with no container. They exist in the moment, and then they are gone. This is why the second sleep and the watch were so vital. During the day, we are in logistics mode. We are working, talking, and reacting. But at night, we are in storytelling mode. Language and storytelling are what allow us to anchor our experiences. In cultures like the Maori of New Zealand, where oral tradition and personal storytelling are emphasized, people can remember back to age 2.5, a full year earlier than in Western cultures. The culture you live in literally shapes how far back your memory reaches, and the modern culture we live in, full of artificial light and 8-hour sleep blocks, has robbed us of the time we used to spend narrating our own lives in the quiet of the night. Every human has a black hole where the first years of their life should be. Your brain did something more important than remembering. It became you, which required destroying the person who came before. So, the next time you wake up at 2 a.m., don't reach for your phone. Don't flood your eyes with blue light and tell your brain it's daytime. Instead, remember your ancestors. Remember the 300,000 years of programming that says this is your time to reflect, to think, and to build the story of who you are. Your insomnia might just be your body trying to give you back your soul. Thanks for watching. If you found this deep dive into the human night fascinating, subscribe for more. And tonight, enjoy your first and second sleep.